GATCA is an acronym. It stands for the Global Account Tax Compliance Act. But there isn't actually an act called that in any jurisdiction. This is a description of a number of different regulations, including FATCA, including CRS. All of them are designed to look at tax evasion. The global word for all of those regulations in all of the different jurisdictions is called GATCA. Pretty much every financial institution in the world that has to comply with these regulations is required to appoint a responsible officer. That responsible officer in many jurisdictions may be subject to both personal liability as well as the firm's liability for non-compliance. And therefore it's important that that responsible officer is in a position to make sure that they are aware of all the appropriate regulatory documents that they may be subject to. In addition to that, a lot of these regulations also require the responsible officer to make sure, in turn, that everyone who is client-facing within their organization is also clearly aware of the obligations that their firm has. And so the GATCA Resource Library is useful primarily for responsible officers and also for anyone who is client-facing within the organization. Now, that's not to say that others may not also have an interest in being aware of what they're liable for. And so systems people, operations people may need to have some level of understanding. The key here is that the responsible officer in most of these regulatory structures is required to have a compliance program. And that compliance program is designed to make sure that they have what are called adequate controls. And adequate resources is part of that. If people don't know what they're supposed to be doing, then it's very difficult for them to comply well. And so the start of every regulatory compliance program is usually founded on making sure that everybody in the organization that needs to know what the compliance program looks like has access to the materials that they need to do their job. The GATCA Resource Library brings all of those documents together in one place and online so that everyone has exactly the same resource to work from.